Unity of Houston is an inclusive church where we seek to understand and live the teachings of Jesus and other spiritual masters. At Unity, we welcome all people from all spiritual paths and every walk of life. We celebrate the diversity of our city and of our world, and we teach love, tolerance, and oneness, seeking to live in harmony with open minds and open hearts.
Wherever you are in your spiritual path, you are always welcome at Unity. Join us and discover that the life of your dreams is already within you.
What I want to say tonight, what I am also excited about, is that this is the final chapter of the book that Reverend Jean Marie and I have been using really for the majority of the time that we have been through this pandemic. We had chosen it with the idea that things were strange and different, and we wanted to explore that and not shrink away from it. It's called When Things Fall Apart. If you've been following our lessons all along, it's a book written by Pema Chodron, who is a Buddhist teacher, Buddhist nun, priest, I'm not sure exactly what her title is, but a spiritual teacher of great depth. And this book was really instrumental for me in a lot of ways. Well, this is the final chapter. And the final chapter she calls The Path is the Goal. And I couldn't think of a better title myself. So that's what this talk is tonight. The path. And it's big in spiritual circles, isn't it? But what is the path, right? Is it something that's like laid out in front of you, predetermined? You know, we get this predetermination thing and spirituality and theology and lots of arguments about it. Is it predetermined? Is it laid out? Is it something your soul chose and you're just following this pathway, or this path is happening to you? What exactly is it? Pema Chodron says it this way. She says, the path that we're talking about is the moment-by-moment evolution of our experience, the moment-by-moment evolution of the world of phenomenon all around us, the moment-by-moment evolution of our thoughts and our emotions. In other words, we are evolving a path through our very experience. She says the path is uncharted. She says it comes into existence moment by moment, and at the same time, it drops away behind us. It's like riding in a train, sitting backward. We can't see where we're going, only where we have been. And so there lies the rub, because where we have been too often weighs on us. Too often our focus is on where we have been. It is a cautionary tale that doesn't help us always plan what our future might be. We tend to allow it to limit us, because the last time we tried to go out by ourselves or sing a song in public in front of everybody and messed up, and we let it stop us, we didn't sing very much anymore, did we? We didn't try that again because we got our hands slapped, because we felt the judgment, perhaps just our own judgment. But you see, that's the point. It's like everything we've done in the past has led us to this moment. We're unfettered. We are open. It's possible. Anything is possible. John Shar, he says, the future is not someplace we're going, but one we're creating. The paths are not to be found, but made. And the activity of making them changes both the maker and their destination. That's my favorite part right there. That is my favorite part. When I was in ministerial school, it became very clear to me that eventually it became very clear to me, I would say. I thought it was a class I was taking. I thought I was getting trained for a new credential, for a new way of being, because I had credentials in my life, and I knew that you had to jump through hoops, and you go through school, and you do it, and you get it at the end, and then you go and do something with it, right? That's what I thought I was doing. But no, oh no, it was changing me. It was changing me from top to bottom, inside out. It was changing me when class wasn't happening. It was changing me at midnight. It was changing me in my home. It was changing me in the place where I was living when I wasn't home, which is another story altogether. It was changing me every step of the way. It was changing me from the word go. The path that I had chosen, that I'd committed to, was changing me. I had not bargained for that. I hadn't seen that coming. I thought, in my hubris, I had a lot going on already. I didn't know that there was a lot more that needed to change. I'm not sure I would have accepted the opportunity if I'd have realized how much change would happen, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. It has been a powerful, powerful journey, and it continues. And I'm always still surprised by that. Question number 1 for you tonight. As you look back over your path, what is your biggest surprise? What is your biggest surprise? Looking back, you're sitting in your train, looking backward out the back window of everywhere you've been, from birth. What is your biggest surprise about what life really is? What your life has been? If you would put it into the comments section on Facebook, that would be great. We'd love to hear that. We'll be looking at that in our spiritual talkback section tonight. Think about it. What is your biggest surprise? Someone unknown said this. Someone very wise, unknown, said this. Sometimes the bad things that happen in our lives put us directly on the path to the best things that will ever happen to us. I mentioned ministerial school, which really was a wonderful thing. It was wonderful in so many ways. But I've also had those terrible things happen to me. Things unexpected, things I didn't ask for, things I couldn't understand, things that changed me completely, things that burst everything I thought I understood about myself and about the world. It cracked it open. It cracked my heart open. It changed me fundamentally. And it is the very reason that I'm sitting here today in this role with you tonight, that I could even be here, is because those things happened to me, because they changed me. Because I don't think you would have wanted to know the person that I was before. Maybe you don't want to know this person, but you know what? I don't care about that anymore. Pema Chodron says this: if there's any possibility for enlightenment, she says, it's right now. Not at some future time. Now is the time. What does it take to use the life we already have in order to make us wiser rather than more stuck? What is the source of wisdom at a personal, individual level? Anyone who has used the moments and days and years of his or her life to become wiser, kinder, and more at home in the world has learned from what has happened right now. And it's happening right now, and right now, and right now. And you're batting it away, and it's still happening right now. And you're ignoring me, and you want to go in the other room and get something to drink, and you want to blow this off, but it's happening right now. It's happening with that decision. Because we can't escape the moment, the nowness, the opportunity. We can ignore it, we can deny it, we can distract ourselves, we can go in the other room, we can do all kinds of things to avoid facing the truth in the life that is right in front of us, the opportunity, because there's something new wanting to be birthed in us. in all of us. In my own story, I told it recently, thinking sometime in, I think it was June, about how it was that my husband and I, went into 12-step recovery together, for different aspects of the breakdown of our personalities. And in doing that, it completely transformed my way of seeing the world and my way of seeing myself. It changed my religion from Catholicism to unity. I mean, it was wholly transforming, but not immediately. It was over a period of commitment, a period of time, and a lot of work and a lot of soul searching. My story is not different from a lot of other people's, whether it involves addiction or 12-step or therapy. Well, mine had lots of therapy. But whatever it is that has fundamentally broken you open or stopped the presses of your life or redirected you in a place you never thought you would end up, or a place you never thought you would go, or a person you never thought you would be or be married to. Whatever the surprise is in your life, it has brought you to this moment, and it has made you who you are. The path itself changes, not just, as John Shar says, not just the maker of the path, but the destination of the path as well. This wasn't where I was headed. I had an entirely different life planned, but it was a by-the-book kind of life that I had seen other people live, and I assumed mine would fall in that pattern. I didn't understand the way that life really works. But you do, because you got a path curling around behind you, don't you? You know. Pema Chodron says, we can make ourselves miserable, or we can make ourselves strong. The amount of effort is the same. Right now, we are creating our state of mind for tomorrow, not to mention this afternoon, or next week, or next year, and all the years of our lives. Trungpa Rinpoche says, he was Pema Chodron's teacher, whatever occurs in the confused mind is regarded as the path. Whatever occurs in the confused mind is regarded as the path. This is the work. This is the curriculum. This is the thing. This is the nut, the nugget. This is the grist for the mill. He says, everything is workable. I love that. Everything is workable. There's a way out. There's an answer. I don't know what it is. I won't know what it is until I embrace it and dig in, unless I get some help with it, maybe do some research, maybe get some advice, maybe get some more therapy, I don't know. Maybe whatever it is to find out what is it, how do I get through this? And yet I know I will. Why? Because I have a history of getting through things, and so do you, curling down the path out of sight from whence you have come. Everything is workable. Everything is an adjustment of the mind, an awareness. It is a fearless proclamation, he says. The lions roar. Why the lions roar? Because it comes out of nowhere. It's not what you thought. Everything was fine a second ago, and now suddenly something's not fine and not good and not fixable, it seems. But everything is workable. Everything has a becoming, and you are the maker. You are the becomer. You are becoming. You are evolving. Because the path is none other than you. You, yourself, are the path. Question number 2 for tonight. When you face a challenge you weren't expecting, how do you eventually deal with it? When you face a challenge you weren't expecting, how do you eventually, see what I said, deal with it? And here's the meaning of this question, really, the question I'm trying to ask you. What is your go-to strategy? How is it that you get out of things? How do you get through things? What do you eventually remember or fall back to or use because it's worked before? What is your tool? What is it that you do? Whether you like it, whether you think it's great, whether it works all the time or not, whether you continuously have to remind yourself to do it, to use it. Maybe it takes a long time of suffering before you finally remember that this is the thing that always works when I use it. Maybe it's one of those. But whatever it is, what is yours? Put that into the comments section. We'd like to hear. Roshi Joan Halifax reminds us with this. She says, catastrophe is the essence of the spiritual path. A series of breakdowns, allowing us to discover the threads that weave all of life into a whole cloth. Catastrophe is the essence of the spiritual path, a series of breakdowns. I know I didn't sign up for that. I would never have checked that box. You? I wanted to know everything from the outset and follow the path and check the boxes off as I went. That's what I signed up for. That's what I thought I was doing. I was always looking for the right way to do something the first time. I did not want to make messes out loud in front of people. It wasn't at all my strategy, but it has definitely been in my curling path behind. Yours? In fact, I find that, especially with this new technology, with the way things are, I find that I have to do it. I don't have to, but apparently I take the steps. I do everything wrong first. Every way it could be wrong. Every order is wrong, the button I pushed was wrong, the icon I used was wrong. Whatever it was, I have to make every mistake before I can finally make the right one reliably. Therefore, I know when somebody else has made mistakes, I know which one that is. You know why? Because I did that myself. Oh, yes, I did that one. I sent that wrong. Yes, I sent it upside down. Yes, I know. I didn't know. I didn't even know. I didn't know it could go upside down, you know. Stuff like that, you know. Life. It's a hoot. Jean-Paul Sartre, who's a philosopher, said, there are two ways to go to the gas chamber, free or not free. I mean, talk about putting it right on point. Free or not free. That's your choice. Wherever you're headed, the end will come eventually. How you go there, up to you. How open, how free, how willing, how possible is your world? How possible is your next choice? How possible is your life before you? Forget about what happened in the past. Forget about what happened yesterday. This is today. This is a new you. This is now. This is the moment of creation. What will you choose? Where will you go? Oh, the places you'll go. My favorite book, one of my top 10, Dr. Seuss. Love that book. I told you at the beginning that Pema Chodron's book concludes with this chapter. What I'd like to do is leave you with her blessing. This is the final paragraph of the final chapter of the end of When Things Fall Apart. And I think it has a nugget for you. I don't know what it is. I hope you'll find it. So listen. We live in difficult times. Pause. This book was written, did you look at the front of it? I forgot to look at it today. Jean Marie, do you know? I'm going to say 1990s. I think that's when I first read it. So that was at least 20 years ago she wrote this book. She said then we live in difficult times. That was nothing compared to today. Nothing. I can tell you, I lived then too. We live in difficult times. She says one senses the strong possibility that conditions may become even worse. Trungpa Rinpoche passed on many teachings to her, she says, that relate to uplifting society. He passionately and fearlessly imparted instructions that could bring about an era of courage in which people could experience their goodness and extend themselves to others. To the extent that I have understood this hard advice, she says, I now pass some of it on to you. May these teachings take root and flourish for the benefit of all sentient beings, now and in the future. And so it is. Amen.
Thank you for watching this message today. I'd like to invite you to join us in person here on campus at Unity of Houston for Sunday morning or Wednesday evening services. If you can't be with us here on our campus, you can still join us live on Facebook or on our website, unityhouston.org, Sunday mornings at 11 a.m. Central.